Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you guys, wireless mesh systems have made me cringe for the longest time, and I'm going to explain to you guys why, especially really expensive systems. I mean, some of these creep up to like 800, 900 pounds, and for that you'd be much better off just running a cheap hardwired access point. However, I think there is a very large market of people out there that just want okay speeds, but a really large coverage blanket. So now mesh has been out for some time. These are the systems that you can get for under 100 quid. Let's put them to the test. Hey guys, Alex here, and before we get into this video, I just want to say a massive shout out to Joel, who actually won our Ubiquiti access point from our previous Ubiquiti giveaway. If you guys would like to win the winning mesh system in this video, all you've got to do is leave a comment down below and a like rating. Now, before we go ahead and crown one of these systems best under 100, I need to explain a little bit about what mesh is. And now, it doesn't differ too far from your normal wireless access point, whereas you have one node that connects to your ISP and it gives off Wi-Fi for you to connect to like your normal access point would. But what it also does is have a separate network, or what's known as a backhaul network, which is hidden to your devices but actually allows separate nodes to be positioned around your house and connect to that backhaul network. And via the backhaul network, they can literally broadcast the same network as this network, making one huge network without having to run any cables anywhere. It's pretty neat, really. So this is the TP-Link Deco. At the time of purchase, it was £100, so the most expensive out of the group, and it says it can cover 4,000 square feet. It automatically detected my WAN type, whether it's PPP-oE or static IP. Then it asks for a new wireless name and password, and you're pretty much good to go. Now, there's one thing that stops this from being a complete 10 out of 10 installation, and that is that the nodes are not pre-paired to the master node, if you like, straight out of the box. You have to click the plus button and add each node separately. Next up on our list is the Tender Nova, which is this system right here, possibly my favorite looking out of the three, and this system covers 3,500 square feet, so 500 square feet less than the TP-Links. Like the TP-Link, 2 Ethernet ports present on the back of each unit, which are multi-purpose, again for LAN or WAN. And basically the Nova was the easiest to set up out of the group, hands down. Basically, you just connect to the Wi-Fi that it gives off, you open the app, it automatically detects your WAN type, and then you give it your new wireless name and password that you want to create. It goes ahead and creates that, and then asks you to plug in the Nova satellite units. As soon as you plug them in, the app detects them, and they are online, ready to go. Green lights on all 3 of the units. 10 out of 10, easiest to set up here. Next up is the Huawei Q2 system. Now, like Huawei or not, I was really excited to check these out because Huawei know a thing or two about wireless transmissions, whether you knew that or not. Unlike the other units, the Q2s actually have 3 Ethernet ports on the back, so if you're wanting to connect hardwired devices, this may be the way to go. And setup again here was super simple. You connect to its Wi-Fi, you open the app, it detects your WAN, you give it your new Wi-Fi name and password, and then it all comes crashing down here because I really struggled to get the nodes connected to my main unit with the Huawei Q2 system. Turns out that what you actually have to do is within 2 minutes of the main node firing up, you have to plug in each of the other nodes to the main node with an Ethernet cable, and then it will automatically configure them for you. It didn't say this in the app, and I was left a little bit in the dark for 5 minutes until I had to go and Google it myself. Worst setup here out of the group. The, well, setup winner is definitely the Nova. So now comes on the performance. What are these things actually like to use in the real world? And I wanted to get some baseline figures before testing the mesh. So what I did was I just had one of each unit plugged in and I had it broadcasting Wi-Fi and I ran some tests. As you can see by the graphs, the TP-Link Deco absolutely destroys the other 2 units, and that's simply due to it having more bandwidth available running at AC 1200 instead of 867. It was also interesting to see the Nova pulling through at our furthest away location in the garage. Considering this is the smallest package out of the 3, I thought it would have the worst range, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Okay, moving on to the next test. Still only with one node plugged in, I walked around my house with a signal meter and gauged the average signal throughout numerous locations walking around my house. As you can see, the best average signal is by far the Deco, and I think that is because when you're actually closer to this unit, because it has higher throughput, it allows literally more speed when you have a good signal to the TP-Link Deco system. And then if you go ahead and plug in the mesh nodes and walk around the exact same route with a signal meter, here we can see the signals, well, improve or not so. The TP-Link Deco is the most improved overall with an average of 131 with all mesh nodes plugged in. The Nova increased slightly, and the Q2, well, I think what the Q2's problem was is it was struggling to actually move me from access point to access point as I was wandering around the house. So I'd find that I was in the lounge and I was still connected to the access point in the kitchen because it hadn't moved me to the lounge access point yet and kicked me off like it should. And that's what a mesh system should do, or a good one at least. So the most improved signal round goes to Deco. It is now 110. Now this next test is super important. Basically what I'm trying to do is demonstrate the quality of the backhaul signal between all of the nodes and how they can suffer when activity is present. So with basically zero load traveling through the mesh network, the pings were identical on the TP-Link and the Huawei, whereas the Tender Nova, well, the ping just seemed to be that little bit higher, and I'm not sure why that is. I tried to reboot the units to see if they would settle back down and go, a little bit lower, but they just didn't. Strange. And then under load with the backhaul completely stressed, our obviously ping times fly through the roof, but the TP-Link still takes the crown with 150 milliseconds, the Nova coming in at 165, and then obviously the Q2 falling behind. That is going to be another win for the Deco unit here. Now it's 2-1-0. But with that being said, I want to give a huge shout out to NordVPN for sponsoring our networking videos. If you guys would like to get a 2-year plan plus 1 month for free, go to NordVPN/TechFlow or just use code TechFlow. But why a VPN? Well, there's loads of reasons as to why you should use a VPN, but there's two main ones. The first one being privacy, and the second one being geolocation. Privacy, protection from your ISP. Basically, if you have NordVPN and you connect to the internet using one of their servers, that means your ISP isn't going to be able to do any logging of anything that you do online. So from a privacy standpoint, NordVPN is a must-have. NordVPN basically works by connecting your computer to a server of your choice, and they have them dotted all around the world, and this basically changes your IP address and puts you anywhere where you would like to be. And because of this, it comes with some perks as well, like you can pretend to be in a different country, therefore you could be in England and connect to a US server and get US Netflix if you would like to. This also works for doing things like connecting to a server abroad to download games faster from an abroad server than your current locally hosted server can provide. They also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 round-the-clock support, completely unlimited bandwidth, and you can have up to 6 connections on your account. So if that does sound juicy to you, go to nordvpn.com/techflow, or like I said, use code TechFlow at checkout. And now, well, another test to see how strong the backhaul connection is between each node, running a speed test hardwired to one of the wirelessly connected nodes. The results show that the Nova is definitely the slowest at 182 meg, and the Deco is managing to pull a whopping 269 megabits per second. This here is clearly another win for the TP-Link, which currently puts the scores at 3-1-0. Now, as far as the apps are concerned, controlling these devices, they all kind of have their pluses and minuses. The only one that seems to have any sort of remote management is the TP-Link Deco system, so you can manage your network when you're not even connected to it, which is nice. The Huawei Q2 system is the only one out the group that lets you separate the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz networks by having a separate name for each. That's not currently an option on either the TP-Link or the Tender device. The TP-Link lets you turn off a certain band, either the 2.4 or 5 should you wish, but you can't separate them with a name, which is kind of a little bit odd. Now, I did find that the Tender system offered a few more features than the other two in the competition, like it had QoS and it also had parental controls as well, built right into the app. So as far as app is concerned, I'm giving this win to the Tender, which now puts the score to 3-2-0. Avoid this Huawei system. It doesn't really work very well. Not that impressed with it. Really like the Nova system because of how small and cute these little things look, and the app was really intuitive. I think literally my grandma could set this mesh system up. Super simple. And then, well, obviously the speed for the power user, the TP-Link. This is the king of cheap mesh Wi-Fi. So if you've got the money, get the TP-Link, but if you don't have the money, this Nova system, well, it will do a great job for you, I'm sure of that. And guys, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.